Without a doubt, seed retention can transform your life. The sooner you make this decision, the better. However, many people can't give up pornography and continue to live their previous lives. Why is it so difficult to quit? Everything around you has been designed to make it simpler to give in to your desires. Without going too technical, let's refresh your mind with a word that is frequently bandied around in the seed retention world: dopamine. All you need to know is that dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is responsible for your desires. You wouldn't be as consistent in doing something you're good at or pursuing your long-term goals if it wasn't there. You can use dopamine as a reward pattern. That's right, you can entirely alter it. The more you are overwhelmed with pleasure, the more cravings you will experience. I only explain that you can adjust the entire reward system. Let's start with the rat dopamine experiment, which most of you are probably familiar with. Scientists conducted an experiment on rats, studying how they respond when their dopamine receptors are turned on. It comes as no surprise. When this reward system was turned off, the rats became lethargic and starved to death, despite the fact that food was placed in front of them, but they did not consume it. What happened there? If you look attentively, you'll notice that the rats had no desire to eat or do anything. This is exactly how heroin and cocaine work. They excite dopamine receptors in the brain at extraordinarily high levels, rendering them inactive for the time being. The human body always responds to such impacts in order to preserve equilibrium. However, it may not be able to recuperate after excessive drug use. When this happens, your brain responds by reducing the number of receptors. It's the same as taking steroids. When you take steroids, your body is artificially bombarded with testosterone. So in an attempt to restore your body's testosterone equilibrium, it turns off its own testosterone production because it is already getting plenty from steroids use. So no matter how much dopamine you flood your brain with, it will always try to bring you back down to normal levels by shutting down its own dopamine receptors. Because part of your dopamine receptors have been turned off, this is what you will start to notice. These health difficulties, according to scientific studies, include weariness, loss of motivation and insomnia, mood fluctuations, memory loss, social anxiety, poor libido, sugar cravings, stress, inability to connect with others, and inability to focus. Not only that, but low dopamine levels can lead to depression, which is poorly known in the male world, but is a severe issue. Science has not discovered another drug that can significantly increase your dopamine. Apart from sex, no other substance comes close in comparison. Remember that sex is necessary for human survival, and your body naturally reacts to it. It always rewards you with your best efforts. Cocaine is expensive and has the risk of overdosage. Each new video acts as a small dose of cocaine. The dopamine rush may continue for a few minutes or so, but porn can extend it to hours, which is worse than using hard narcotics. Pay attention to that. It is, once again, worse than doing hard narcotics. You may be proud that you have never used heroin or cocaine, but if you continue to watch porn, you are no better. So, as previously explained, your brain reduces the amount of available dopamine receptors. Consider what can happen to you. If you continue to watch porn every day for a few years, you may cause major harm to your dopamine reward circuits, where most of your receptors are now turned off. If you suffer from social anxiety or depression and lack motivation to reach your objectives or do anything large, consider all you've heard thus far, sit down and reflect. It's time, brothers, to do what you were born to do. It's time to break free from porn and social conditioning, which is the worst drug of our generation. Start slowly, one day at a time, and you'll find your reward in time.